Welcome back to In Pursuit of Magic, where we explore the things that inspire us, connect us, and the magic we find along the way. I'm Matthew Medina, and today's very special guest I'm thrilled to have. She's an Emmy Award-winning singer-songwriter, violinist, and storyteller, a Nashville-based artist with a classical violin background. She's gone from recording in a homemade booth to landing major sync placements, including her cover of The Middle, featured in DC's Supergirl. She recently released her EP Haunt Me, and she's also a writer-director behind the show Beneath the Cosmic Waves on Podbean. I'm thrilled to welcome Kelty Greye. Kelty, thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me. That was so beautiful. That was beautiful. You did your research. Wow.
Yeah, well, it's just amazing to learn about you and all the things you've kind of delved into, which is incredible. It's very clear you're a storyteller, whether it's through writing or music, and the way you're blending both. So there's a lot to unpack there because I can only imagine all the attention recently with Supergirl has kind of blended all of that together too in another form of storytelling. But your origin, I mean, starting at such a young age, learning violin, what was that like? And what was the moment where you realized you wanted to kind of delve into then songwriting?
Yeah. Well, I started playing. Okay, so my great grandmother played the fiddle, and I'd always grown up hearing about her, and I wanted to play. So when I was 7, that was my birthday present. And I started taking lessons. But I think I've always like written songs, but when I was like 14, I started really getting into like soundtracks from movies and wanting to like play them on the violin and listening to composers. And then after that, I was like, maybe I want to like write songs where I sing them too. So probably about 14 was when I started taking it seriously.
And it's funny just hearing you say that because it feels like a full circle moment now where now you're on soundtracks.
A
And
hundred
what a cool
percent.
feeling that is.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. I literally always have been I'm like a movie nerd. I love a TV show. I love a movie. In high school, I would go walk to the theater. It was like near my high school and go see the newest superhero movie that was out or the Star Wars. That's all I've ever wanted. I'm literally like living my childhood dream right now, which is crazy.
And it goes to show though that when you have this passion and love for something and you really put your whole heart into it, you never know where it could lead. Like it's such a defining moment, which is really cool.
Yeah. I didn't think I would end up doing this for a living until lockdown, COVID times. I was in school was gonna probably be like a speech pathologist. And then the world kind of shut down, and I have a really wonderful mom, and she was like, "Pursue your passion." So I ended up transferring colleges when everything kind of opened back up, and being like, "Just gonna go for it." And I'm so thankful I did. I went to MTSU, and they were so wonderful. They taught me so much. They prepared me so much for the industry.
Which is incredible to hear because I feel like hardships like the pandemic could make or break someone. And I feel like everyone kind of came out of it differently. Everyone had a different experience. And I feel like it was almost a reset where there was this opportunity to explore other things and kind of figure out what's important to you. And I think, like your mom said, chasing that dream and realizing where your passions lie is such an important thing. And so it makes me happy for you that you got that opportunity to then do what you're doing. Cause I feel like when you're not doing something you love, there's a part of you missing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And, at MTSU, you were part of a commercial campaign and won a regional Emmy. So, how do you think that early success shaped your confidence and approach in the future of your career?
First of all, yeah, it gave me confidence to be like, wow, maybe I could do this outside of a school scenario. But that was such a crazy cool experience because it was a school wide contest to write a song, and my team we had a plan, we entered, and we won. And I had a really wonderful professor there, Bess Rogers, and she taught me like so much about how to write like music specifically with like TV and film and commercial in mind. And so about 6 months, 5 or 6 months after doing that is when I recorded the middle from by the time we recorded that commercial. And I did the middle, and I really thought like I wanted it to be a cinematic song. I do like doing strings, and I was like, just want it to be big and cinematic, but I did not think it would end up in not a movie like this big. I didn't even know if it'd end up in any movie, but
Well, what's so interesting too is I heard like how late in the game you found out, first of all, your song was going to be used for something. And then later that you found out it was Supergirl, which is kind of crazy too.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was I think I said this in an interview earlier today too, like, it was mid-April, and I have been just, like, working normal jobs, and I was like, "Well, maybe the music dream is just a dream," and it was really fun while it lasted, and literally, like, 2 days after I was like, "I guess I give up on that," or not give up, but like, "Nah, maybe that's not gonna happen."
Yeah.
I woke up to the email that was like, "Hey, we're looking into your song for a movie," and it didn't say what it was for, but that made me be like, "Never give up. I'm never giving up
Yeah.
again."
And it's funny how those moments happen right when you're about to give up. And it's just like, no, 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 not just yet.
It's crazy, I finally accepted it. I was like, "Well, oh well, I'll move on,"
Yeah.
and I'm not losing hope ever again. I don't think anyone should.
I also think it's such an important film to have your song in, just from top to bottom. I mean, it's a female superhero, you have a female composer, and your song comes in such a pivotal moment in that climax. And for me, just as a lifelong Superman, Supergirl fan, and following the story of what was happening in the movie, and feeling like I was getting where each character was up until that point, it really hit for me where I was like a few seconds in, oh, I see what the choice was here. Like it makes perfect sense and it fits so well. And just the message behind it from Ruthie's perspective, I think just it all came together for me. And I think part of that experience for me also is that I'm a girl dad now. So that hit me even harder. And I was just like, yeah, like I get it. Like I understood the whole time and I was like, this is beautiful. Like there didn't need to be this big, long discussion between Supergirl and Ruthie. That moment did it. And everything fell into place. And so it's amazing to hear like how many songs they went through that just were not working for them.
I
And
think
then
that's
them
crazy.
finding yours.
I don't know, I genuinely like, I did not get to like, I wasn't involved in any of that discussion, so I didn't know until the press news came out that we were up against so many songs. Um, but, going back to what you said, I have had so many fathers comment and be like, "I took my daughter to the theater, and this hit me so hard thinking about her growing up," and I was just so touched by that, like, as a as a woman, like, I was really, like, resonated with the movie, and I saw all these things in it, and I've heard so much from young women who really appreciated it. But it's also a really lovely perspective with, like, fathers who were like, "I'm a lifelong nerd and taking my daughter to this movie, and she's seeing herself in the eyes of these characters, and I'm watching her," and that was like, "Oh, that's so beautiful." I'm so happy for that.
Yeah, and it's powerful. I think that experience, what's funny is even before the movie came out and I knew that the song was in it, I because my daughter was born last August, and I remember hearing the original and listening to the lyrics again, and I was like, "Man, this is kinda what I wanna tell my daughter as she gets older and she's going through things, and it's what I want her to, like, to feel in her heart." And so, no idea going into the movie blind about the song and then hearing it was just, like, so perfect for me, like, it aligned, and then the context of it, like I said, I think was pure magic. And I think as someone who loves movies like you do and scores and soundtracks, that must have been a magic moment for you going with loved ones and your supporters and sitting in that theater and just seeing it on screen.
It was, like, surreal. I think the first 30 seconds, I couldn't even, like, sink in and enjoy it. It was just so wild, like, hearing your own voice in a theater, and then I work with a really wonderful producer, Scott Feldman, who his pseudonym is Kid Motel, so he is who worked with me on that track, amongst a lot of other wonderful people, but I recorded my parts in my bedroom in, like, a booth that I built out of PVC pipes and packing blankets, and I did it while I was in college, and, so it was just, like, crazy, like, I thought of, like, me I think I was Kara's age when I recorded that. It was, like, 23 or 24, and I was like, "That was just wild," and it took a few years, like, for that to go anywhere, like, it was just a song I did, and I had fun, and now I really think about the lyrics, like, it just takes some time, like
Yeah, and I think that's one of the lessons we can learn from that and your experience. Just, you never know when things are gonna align and things are gonna work out. And usually it's things you didn't even expect or really think about just because maybe they seem far-fetched or too big. And yet life takes a turn, and I think and hope that, the lesson you took away is that you're meant for more than you think you are.
It's a good lesson. I'm a big believer that, like, everything will happen the way it needs to happen. It's not gonna be how you think or when you think or the way you think, but it will work out. What needs to happen will happen.
Agreed. Especially when you're passionate about what you're doing and you put in the work. I mean, like you said, you made your own booth at home, and that's incredible. And to see the strides you're taking now, and it's really incredible. And it's not just this song that you're celebrating, but you released an EP recently, Haunt Me,
Yeah.
which is really awesome. Haunt Me and I think Stars, I really loved a lot. So tell me about the process of making that album and what it means to you.
I will, yeah, those are also my 2 favorites. Not that I pick favorites, but those are my favorites too. Um, yeah, so both of those were recorded a while ago, or at least written a while ago, and it took a while to get them out, but I really yeah, I think I wrote Stars when I had the flu, and I
Wow.
just had the idea, and it was like a draft on an iPad until very recently. Um Haunt Me, that one is probably my favorite one I've ever gotten to do. That's, Kid Motel, who also did The Middle with me. We co-wrote that, and he produced it, and I just love that song. I think it is so, so beautifully produced, and I had so much fun singing it and writing on it. And then I did, Always in My Mind, which a wonderful producer, Tom Rhodes, he actually wrote that. That's one of his, and he let me cover it, and I just thought it was such a beautiful song. I felt like Norah Jones getting to sing it. And then we did a cover of, Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood, which I thought was really fun. I didn't really know that song until recently, but now I love it.
Yeah, same. But it really sets up like this atmosphere, like it takes you somewhere else, which is really nice. And I have to think like making this EP and putting it out around the same time that Supergirl is coming out and the middle is getting so much attention must be just like a rush of excitement and support from different angles.
It is, it's crazy. I think that I've put music out in the past and, like, maybe it takes a second for people to, like, hear it, but a lot of people have also reached out about the EP, which I'm like, "Oh, you heard that too? That's so nice." It's been really cool.
And I think learning more about you and like your journey is also just super awesome and interesting. And to know your experience and the love you put into what you're doing. Um, we talked about how getting to see this movie and with people that you love and who love you and support you must be an incredible experience. But now getting to celebrate the release of the EP at the same time, it's just like everything, like you said, happens when it's meant to happen and for a reason. And I feel like they're now like promoting each other in a lot of ways, which is really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I had I had somebody comment on my TikTok account, and they were like, "I'm just scared from an old song, like, a long time ago," and I was like, "How did you find this?" They're like, I don't know how they found me from, like, one song that has, like, 2,000 streams, and they were like, "Girl, you're in a movie now." I was like, "Get here, but thank you for being here."
That's amazing too. Yeah, you never know what you put out there may land with someone
You
and
never
people
know.
connect with.
I did the audio drama recently, and I was able to cast that through TikTok. Like, I just put it out there, and I got 5,000 auditions, and I got them all from people like you at home with a setup, which I just thought was so cool. Like, there's so many talented people in the world, and I think, the internet, it has its ups and downs, but, like, the way it can connect us so that we can all create from home together, like, so all of the people who I've worked on music with, they all live in LA, we've never met in person, but because of, like, Riverside and Zoom and all of these things and the internet, you can, like, work with people that you would have never run into. I The audio drama, I think we had cast members from either 3 or 4 different continents. Several different countries, like, it was wild. We couldn't record at the same time because people were on opposite sides of the world, but, like, I've made all these people that I like, friends that I care about, through this, and I think this is the same kinda thing, like, it's just cool we can all work together now.
Yeah, which I think is the like you said, the good side of technology and being able to connect in the internet and collaborate. I mean, collaboration is such an important part of any artist journey, I think, but I think especially when you want to dive into so many different types of things, whether it's music or writing or the audio drama, which I do want to talk about beneath the cosmic waves. Tell me a little bit about what the story is and how it came about that you're writing and directing.
Yeah. So my dream, I love television. Doctor Who is like my favorite show on the planet, and I always wanted to write like a sci-fi kind of thing like that. And I was like, well, I can't film something like this, but I have all this recording equipment. I could probably do an audio drama. And I grew up listening to like old radio shows and stuff. So I always enjoyed the format. So it's about Sloane, who's it's kind of has some similar themes with Supergirl, with maybe running from your grief and not stepping into your place quite yet. So Sloane is running away from her grief, and she stumbles upon a library in a retirement town in Florida that's probably a cult, and it's running with a little sinister undercurrent. And then lots of lots of fish and aliens and weirdness.
Interesting. It's funny you said Doctor Who too, because I'm a huge Doctor Who fan
I love
also. And
Doctor
so,
Who.
yeah, you describing the show, I'm getting those vibes. And
It started as the idea of like, well, if I could write a Doctor Who villain, what would I write? And then I was like, I might turn this into my own story. So it was heavily inspired by Doctor Who.
that would sell me right away, to be honest. So it's really cool. And it's just awesome that you have a love for something and you're like, I want to make something inspired by this like myself. Like I want to create my own thing. And I feel like that's the beauty of being an artist, whether it's writing or music or whatever it may be. And it's just awesome to see you taking that path and like diving all in. And so I'm curious about the process of what it's like writing and directing and talk a little bit about the casting. But I'm sure it takes a lot of like moving parts to like make it all come together and put it out.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So it took me, it was the first thing like this I ever wrote. It took me, I'd say like 2 years between the initial idea, went through 5 drafts of it, 7 episodes, a lot of editing. The casting took a long time. We took like a month, maybe more. Um, and then I had like a long period of recording because we all lived so far away on different schedules. Directing it was really interesting because it was remote. So I put all my director's notes in the script. So I didn't live direct anyone, but everyone was so wonderful and so talented. I didn't have any edits or notes for anyone. What they sent me, I was like, oh, this is fantastic. It was a joy to edit. So
That's
it was
amazing. And I'm
really,
wondering the process of that editing. What did it feel like to see it kind of all come together?
oh my gosh, that was the coolest thing that I've done, like as a personal project. I scored it too, I, like, sound designed it, and it was so much fun. Like, the way it comes together when you start adding the sound effects, you're like, "Whoa." Just from, like, a blank slate to, like, a whole audio soundscape. It was really, really fun.
And imagine it just all comes to life and it finally feels like something real. And I think it's probably surreal feeling like, oh, like I made this. Like I put this together.
Do you know that came out in it started airing in April, it finished airing late May, and then I got the call about this, like, about Supergirl April. So we went from like the audio drama to the Supergirl, like, in between production stage. And then it's come out, and then the EP came out the same day. So I've had like a crazy since April has been a blur, but it's been like a wonderful, magical blur of sci-fi stuff. and
Which is
super.
incredible. It's like all the things that you love too.
It really is. I'm having a blast. Life is like it's magical right now.
Yeah. And I can only imagine this is just the start, which is the most exciting part too. Not
Yeah.
knowing what's going to come next because it's going to be better than you probably imagine it's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Won't be the
Well,
way you imagined it, but it will be amazing.
exactly. And I think because you've been influenced by so many things, I'm curious what your biggest musical or storytelling influences are. You mentioned a few,
Gosh.
but in terms of your writing and then also your music writing.
Terms of writing, like TV, Doctor Who, I think was like a pivotal thing for me growing up. But I also grew up on a lot of Tim Burton films. I also grew up listening to a lot of like Danny Elfman, the soundtracks that he would do, John Williams soundtracks, Murray Gold of Doctor. Lately, Interview with the Vampire. The Vampire Lestat, that whole franchise. I think Daniel Hart, who scores it, is phenomenal, just beautiful scoring. And then songwriting, so I grew up on a lot of, like, 80s music, and then a lot of, like, 80s alternative. If you've ever heard of Crowded House, uh,
So yeah.
Australian, New Zealand band, and Kate Bush, and now I listen to a lot of, like, 80s goth music. But I listen to everything, like, I enjoy everything, but I did grow up my parents played a lot of, like, folk music, and I think hearing that there's a lot of storytelling in, Appalachian folk music and in the South, and I really loved the way they would just build stories out, like, is it John Hyatt's, "Crossing Muddy Waters?" Like, I just think that's such a beautiful song. It's so sad.
But it goes to show that all those influences really became a part of who you are, and now it shows in your work, which is really cool. And I think even just, whether it's violin or you said you started with fiddle, like it all kind of like meshes together, which is really cool. And it's funny, a lot of the composers you were mentioning also are composers I love. I'm someone who loves movie scores. Um, so it's incredible to see that now you're getting to live that yourself. Like you're one of them, which is really awesome.
That's crazy. I don't know if I'm quite there yet. They put my name next to John Williams in the credits, and that was the most insane, surreal, like, thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if anything will ever top that.
And it's solidified. Like that's not changing. Like it's there, and it's part of a movie and a character that is so time spanning that it's like never gonna go away, which is really cool.
Crazy.
Yeah, and
If
you've
I could
also
tell
worked.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
As if I could tell my 14-year-old self this, she would lose her mind. This would like, my teenage nerdy self would I'm losing my mind now, but
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I'm curious what advice you would give your younger self who is just having this dream and wanting to go on this path.
I mean, I think a lot of it is literally just the lyrics of the middle, which is cliché, but, like, I remember hearing that song for the first time and it really hitting me hard. Because if you grow up like, I was a nerd, like, did alright in life, but, like, I didn't quite fit in. It didn't everything felt like, it's high school, it's middle school, um, but if you, like, just keep going, like, it you're just in the middle right now, and you will come out the other side. Don't give up. And that
Which
goes
is
for
so
anybody.
important. Yeah, I think whether it's following a dream or just in life, everyone goes through something, and I think to just keep going is like such an important lesson to take away. And you've gotten to work with a lot of different people in your career, including producers like Dark Bloom Productions. What's your collaboration process usually like in bringing songs to life?
Depends on who it's with. I've had a lot of wonderful people where we meet in person, and we kind of just start out with some chords or a melody or some words, and we riff. A lot of times, because of distance, we will, like, send each other things back and forth, so Dark Bloom, that's Scott Feldman, Kid Motel, he'll, like, send me a guitar track of some chords or him humming some lines, and, like, I'll send back some parts, and we just kinda start working on it. Sometimes I've met, like, via Zoom, and we've, like, come in with a demo and been like, "Let's tweak this now while we're here," so it really depends on who it's with. I love collaborating, though. I think in general, like, we're all stronger together. Like, when you work with people, they just bring such a different, like, energy and light and ideas that you're like, "Oh, I would have never thought of that," but it makes it so much more well-rounded to work with other people.
Agreed. And yeah, it's so refreshing to hear your perspective on things and kind of the lessons that you're taking away from them and the things that you're saying because I think based on the fact that you and me like a lot of the same stuff, like it makes sense to me and like yeah, I think the same way and I understand why because we love the same things and we know the characters and worlds that we love have a lot of those same lessons and so stronger together is such an important one. And I'm sure in that process, there's a lot of figuring stuff out. And I'm thinking, as both someone who plays an instrument and writes and sings, how do you decide
What
when
do
to
you
feature? I don't play,
you
unfortunately.
I thought you were saying
No,
you did. I'm so sorry.
no.
I was so
um, I used to play trumpet when I was younger. I don't play anymore. And then I tried guitar for like a second, and I was like, I can't focus right now. I was way too young. I should give it another try,
Is that
but
a tr
maybe one day. But I'm
sorry.
thinking about the process and how do you decide whether to feature instrumentals more on a track and then put vocals versus having the vocals take the lead and the instrumentals kind of take a backseat?
It's a great question. I think for me, like, my goal and my dream was always to to get my music into movies. So when you're thinking about pitching your songs for film and TV, they like a lot of space, like instrumental moments because our characters have dialogue or there's action going on and you want to put sound effects. So I often really think about like an instrumental moment because I I always write songs picturing television shows. Like, often I am inspired by a book, a movie, a show, and I think about that, and there's just a lot of space in those moments sometimes. Like, we gotta have a few lyrics here, and then maybe there's dialogue. I was so inspired by Umbrella Academy when it came out because I loved all of their needle drops.
Yeah, they perfectly align for certain scenes where it was just matched really well.
Oh my gosh, just a great show. And
I'm
a great
thinking even as you were talking about like the space in between and things like that, like sh- bands like The Fray have been used so much for TV shows, and it's like I understand why. Like they do those space things. They do these moments where it just works well and feels cinematic.
yeah.
And I feel like that's part of the magic of storytelling. I mean, there's times where I'm reading a book and I'll put on music that will like match that scene because it comes to life in my head.
Totally, totally.
And it's funny how, I think being influenced by movies and shows can somehow make you look at things differently and songwriting differently because it's different from just normal songwriting. You're looking at it from a lot of different perspectives. So for you, when you're first approaching writing a song, what's the first step for you?
For me, I think it always comes from like a vocal hook or a lyric. I'll just get like a phrase in my head or something, and then I'll pick up a guitar or any kind of instrument near me and like try to put a chord under it. But I almost always start from a lyric or a vocal.
That's amazing that that's like the core, and then you get to build around it, which must be a fun process for you too, to just try to figure out what works.
It's like a puzzle. It always feels like a puzzle. Like, you're gonna have all these elements that have to go in there, and you have to figure out where they fit in. Sometimes you take it out and you go, "No, maybe I'll move it to this section. Maybe that doesn't fit." Or you find it and you're like, "Oh, it's all fitting it together just like it should." It's so much fun. It's
And
genuinely
then
joy.
and then it must feel magical when it finally comes together and the end result is there.
Oh, my favorite is when I get to I'll put a little demo, a little bare bones, like, song together and send it to a producer, and they send it back with their ideas, and the way, like, they have added to what I've done or changed it, you're like, "Oh, that's what it needed," and it's just it is magical. It is truly, like, that's the thing that keeps me going in life, like, that's what I want to do.
It's so much fun also because I feel like in the process of you having those moments where something comes together and you see the end result, I feel like that's symbolic of your journey so far and what this year has been for you up until now. And so I'm curious what advice you would give to emerging artists trying to break through in the industry or even those that are not in music but are following a dream and maybe are overwhelmed by the obstacles in their way or how big it may feel or when they have those spells, those months that go by where they're not sure what to do and they're feeling disheartened.
Yeah. I wish I remember there's 2 things. I wish I remember who told me this, but, like, something is always better than nothing. If you practice for 15 minutes, that's better than not practicing at all. If you wrote a little bit down and then you didn't do anything with it, like, that's better than not doing it. So just always giving it that effort. But also, and my mom told me this one. She was like, when you're driving, if you look straight ahead, you're just going to keep driving straight ahead. But if you look like over to the side to the ditch, you'll start veering into the ditch. So, like, keep your eyes focused on where you want to go, not where you don't. Don't focus on the doom and gloom or the stress or you're not writing enough or you're not doing enough or this didn't like, if you focus on that, you'll just right into there. So focus on the positive where you wanna go, and you'll end up getting there.
I think that's amazing advice because I've always thought of it also like when you're running a race And I remember as a kid, if you're looking straight ahead of you, you're running faster. If you start looking at the person next to you, like, where are they? You start to slow down.
Yeah, and if you compare yourself to others, like, that's the end of it, like, don't ever compare yourself because we are all on different paths, and, yeah, you're just gonna slow yourself down. That's
Yeah, and I
also
think part of that problem also is social media and the internet. You know, we see everyone's best moments and the things that are going well and the successes. Well, we don't see or hear about are the hard times and going through that.
abs
And for you, what do you think you do for yourself to manage those moments so it doesn't put out the fire that's inside you?
I try to stay busy, but when I'm on the internet, I try to cultivate, like, my For You page, my internet is just joyful. It is only things I want to look at, like, there's gonna be bad stuff. I try to only focus on the things that are positive, and so for me, that is my, like, guilty pleasure online. I mean, cat videos, like animals. But I watch edits of, like, shows and movies, people put them to songs. That's, like, my guilty pleasure. My entire, like, TikTok is just saved edits, and I think they're, like, fun, and so when I'm on the internet, I'm trying to just watch stuff that's fun and then get off it and go live my normal life and not focus on it, which several people have edited the middle 2 clips of Supergirl, and that to me was, like, the pinnacle of, like, all these other things are wonderful, but, like, as a nerd at heart, I was like, "Wow, I've made it. That's all I've ever wanted."
That's truly full circle because it's true. Like I do the same thing with watching edits, and I've discovered so many artists and songs through that because I'm
No,
like, oh, this is so good.
I can't even tell you how many yeah, that's literally it's a huge way of me discovering music.
Yeah. And then thinking of scenes differently, seeing more in a character that maybe I didn't see before, where I'm like, "Oh, actually, like, this reads differently now." And
Yes,
I think it lines up with, like, some people do fun videos where they take a movie trailer and they do a completely different score that changes the genre of what that movie is.
I
And I'm
love
always like, "I understand."
yes, take this horror and make it a rom-com, or take this rom-com,
Yeah.
it like a drama, like, yeah, I love that. I've definitely watched those.
It's so much fun, and I can't even comprehend, like, what that feeling is for you to see edits of your song.
But like I said, like, if my 14-year-old self would be like, "No way, no way." I'm still feeling that way.
And I think it's well deserved. I think your experience, the work and love that you put into it, it pays off. I mean, you're doing what you love and it shows, and you have a lot of passion for it. And the fact that you're also doing so many other things, like the fact that you were part of this audio drama and putting it together and putting that out and then releasing an EP, it's just an incredibly inspiring thing to witness, I think, because it shows that you have the courage to do something, to take action and put your heart into something and put yourself out there, which can be terrifying, I'm sure.
It is a little scary, but then it's like riding a bike. Once you get going, you're like, "Well, I'll just keep going now."
Which, I it's funny you say that because I wanna take that as a lesson to myself and anyone listening that really just keep going. Like, just do the thing. Whatever you're afraid of, jump in.
Do the thing, yes.
Well, thinking of the rest of this year, because 'cause you've already had such a crazy exciting year, what is it you're most looking forward to, whether it's music, live shows, or something else entirely?
I mean, on a silly perspective, like Halloween, I love spooky season. I love going out and getting involved in all, like, the alternative scenes, alternative music, and fun things to do. I don't know. I think so much of this industry is it's unpredictable. Like, you never know when you get a call tomorrow about a project or it's a month of silence. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm down for an adventure. Whatever happens, I am along for the ride.
Which is I think is a great way to live, and I was just thinking, is there a specific franchise or show or movie that you would love to write a song for? I mean, I'm thinking Doctor Who for sure,
Yeah,
and
they
there
don't
was,
do
like, the Goblin song, so that was,
That's
like and that
true.
became viral, that became a huge thing, and so I'm
Yeah.
thinking, like, how much fun that would be for you to make something up.
Yeah, oh man. I mean, that one would be crazy. I think right now, Interview with the Vampire or it's The Vampire List Stalker, and I think that would be as a violinist, like, there's a lot of violin in that show, and I think that would
There
be
is.
please let me just be an extra on that set, like, just let me play violin. That would be
Well,
really
I'm
fun.
manifesting that for you because
Thank
that
you,
would
me
be
too.
epic. Well, my last 2 questions are, where do you find magic in the world, and how do you hope to create magic for others?
Those are lovely. I find magic from I just really try not to lose my imagination, like, I don't think I ever forgot how to play, like, I love I don't know, just like, you gotta remember that inner ten-year-old who was just excited about everything and didn't really care what other people thought, and when the more I can, like, embrace that and find, like, that, you know, silly little girl, the more everything is magical, and just not taking everything too seriously, like, it'll pass. Anything negative or bad, like, you're gonna wake up tomorrow and you'll be like, "Oh, that wasn't that bad," you know? What was your other question?
Where do you hope to how do you hope to create magic for others?
Others, I think through stories. I like, there is nothing I love more than, like, a story. Like, I gotta watch a TV show before bed every night or read a book. I love a story, and to create my own story, if anybody ever enjoys it or connects with it, that is magic. That's all I've ever wanted.
Well, I think you're succeeding in that, tenfold between your music and storytelling, and just thank you for sharing your magic and being courageous enough to put yourself out there because we need stories and we need music, and I think it's very inspiring to see you living your dream, and I know it's gonna be inspiring to other people, so thank you for being on and being a magic maker.
Thank you so much, Matthew. This was a wonderful interview. I appreciate you.
I love getting to know you more, and I'm very excited for the rest of your year because, like I said, I know just more and more is gonna come. And as we wrap up, I normally ask my guests to say their name and let everyone listening, or tell everyone listening to go out there and do some magic.
Yeah. My name is Kelty Greye, and I challenge you all to go out and find the magic in life.
You heard her. Till
I
next
feel
time,
like
everybody.
I feel like I need a Disney Channel, like,
Exactly. I need to
me
give
too.
people a wand somehow. Till next time, everybody.